Automotive, Z-Bart, Cannon and Dunphy, Loyal Family Renovations, Network Health, and International Autos on the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey. Riding with you every mile since 1977.
Another MVP has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, Dr. Michael Nolte. Expertscape recently named him part of the top 1% of spine expertise in the world. Dr. Nolte has published over 50 peer-reviewed articles in leading scientific journals and authored more than 100 national presentations. They added this MVP specialist for orthopedic, neurosurgical, and spine care because at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
You know Fleet Farm's got everything for everyday life. But did you also know we have the best prices guaranteed every day? Pet food, wild bird food, automotive, hunting, fishing, farming, you name it. All your everyday essentials, all at the best prices guaranteed. And if you happen to find a lower price elsewhere, we'll match it. Any day, every day. Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life at the best prices guaranteed.
Everybody knows, if it's summer season, it's festival season. And Potawatomi has the winningest one, WinFest. You could make it an awesome August with a share of $500,000. Play with your rewards card for entries. Hourly drawings every Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. $25,000 in cash and prizes each drawing. It's the $500,000 WinFest. Get in on the fun. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. More info at pacebig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Get up! Get out of here and go! Covering the crew all season long on WTMJ, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from American Family Field, here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
It just feels like getting punched in the gut. Just don't like losing to those guys, man. Dodgers, they take the season series with today's win, 7-2. This game was over in the third inning. It really was. Fourth inning, I should say. 5-run fourth inning made it 7-1 at the time. Dodgers never looked back from there. You look at going into this game, the Brewers had a chance to maybe make some noise early, where you knew the Dodgers bullpen was going to be pretty fragile today, coming off of an extra inning game on Sunday. They used almost their entire leverage pen yesterday. They had, a young starter on the mound who's been in a little bit of a slump as of late. You thought, okay, if you can find a way to chase Stone out of this game early, you've got the bullpen advantage, and they have the fatigue factor on their side. But instead, the exact opposite happened. Not only did you not chase Stone from the game, you weren't able to get Knack out of the game, meaning the entire bullpen got a day off. Their entire leverage bullpen got a day off. Meaning, once again, they're right back on track to try to take this series outright tomorrow or on Thursday. And the Dodgers have Walker Buehler returning tomorrow, who will be on a pitch count, I imagine. And Jack Flaherty going on Thursday, whereas the Brewers have Frankie Montas going tomorrow and then Tobias Myers on Thursday. The Brewers thought they had their best going today with Colin Ray and 4 home runs, and we haven't seen him do that in a while. 7 runs allowed against him. Haven't seen him do that in the second half. He had a clunker. But the offense, in my opinion, I know Colin Ray got the loss, and he is not absolved of guilt here, but the offense is suddenly missing in action all of a sudden. We talk about the 42 runs in Atlanta and how much fun that was, and they come right back home with Cincinnati included in that stretch too. They score 1 run on Saturday, which you don't really freak out about. It's 1 game, but then they only score 3 runs on Sunday. They only score 2 runs yesterday. They only score 2 runs today. And you're thinking like, oh, wait a minute here. It's not exactly going to get easier upcoming here. You got Buehler and Flaherty, and then the Guardians will come to town, and they've got an elite bullpen as well. And this is kind of what it's going to look like in the postseason. So I understand the apprehension from Brewers fans right now of like, well, it's cool to beat up on the Braves last week, and it's cool to have the season series against the Cardinals and the Cubs, but this is the kind of team that you really need to be when it matters in October. Nobody cares about your record in August or July as long as what you do in October. So it's tough to sort of hype yourself up for October when you see performances like tonight and the last 2 nights and all season against the Dodgers where you're like, well, why is this going to be any different from anything else? The optimist in me and that glass half full kind of guy says, like, how many times have we seen the team we don't expect in the postseason just catch lightning in the bottle for no reason at all? But there's no science behind that, right? You want to feel better. You want to feel like, all right, yeah, this is the year, going to be no big deal, going to charge on through like the Dodgers are feeling right now. You're just not going to have that feeling going into October, assuming the Brewers are in October. And at this rate, still could be in the wild card round. At this rate, I'd be shocked if the Dodgers aren't the 1 seed. The Phillies are hanging around in this weird 2-seed race right now. The Phillies tonight got blanked by the Marlins at home. So now your sights are set on Philadelphia, and you've got a 3-game series left with them. You remain 2 games back of Philly for the 2nd seed. And the other good news is the fact that the Reds beat the Cardinals again, so you remain 7.5 up in the division. And now you're the only team above 500. The Cardinals are now back to 500. And I can see all the jokes writing themselves. Oh, the Brewers can only beat the Central. The Central's so bad. And the Central's just mediocre. There's no tanking team in here. And the Pirates are en route to losing their 9th in a row tonight. They're down to the Padres right now. The Cubs should be better. They're not. They lost to the Guardians again. The Cardinals should be better. They're not. We mentioned their loss. And the Brewers here taking it, for the ripe for the taking, and it's just like they're getting criticized for it. Let's not do that, okay? Everybody plays everybody now with the balanced schedule. Everybody's played the Cardinals. Everybody's played the Cubs. The Brewers get a couple more series, absolutely. But let's say they didn't play well against the teams in the division. And you've got a real race here while struggling against teams like the Dodgers and like the Padres. That's when you get really nervous. But that's just not what's happening. The Brewers have done their job against the teams in their division. And that is why they're leading the division. Doesn't mean they're a bad team because they beat on lesser teams. It's frustrating when they don't even compete with a team like the Dodgers they have the last 2 nights because you walk away from these 2 games and it's just like you look at 1 through 4 in this lineup and Ohtani and Betts and Freeman and Hernandez and you're sitting here like, they're just better. They're just flat out better. And it's not a diss at any of the guys that the Brewers have. Churio had a bunch of hard contact today. Contreras hit another home run today on a 10-pitch battle. But going to battle, you've got a sophomore, a freshman, let's say an experienced junior or senior for doing like a college basketball route here, and a freshman. Top 4 of your order. Whereas on the other side, for the Dodgers, you've got superstar, about to be superstar. It's just not the same fight. And you would hope that your pitching would be able to shine, but this year, as we know, the starting pitching has not been the Brewers' strength. So I understand the frustration and the just absolute sort of dread that some Brewers fans are feeling right now because it was exactly this time last year when the Brewers, coming off of a sweep against the White Sox, going to Los Angeles, get swept by Los Angeles, including a 1-0 loss with Corbin Burns on the mound, and then you're going to Texas and you're thinking, as Craig Kashan joins us now, as you're going to Texas, you're thinking, well, guess it's not our year. And Craig, I'm just kind of replaying from last year. It feels the exact same thing when the Brewers went to Chavez Ravine, got swept. Now, they haven't got swept yet in this series. If you can dig deep and find a split, man, you're going to feel a whole lot better about it now after the way these first 2 games have gone because there's no other way to put it, Craig, other than they're just simply better. The Dodgers are simply a better team.
Well, they sure look like it right now, and let's face it, I think we're seeing a Dodger team right now that's basically living up to their billing, and we know it's only probably going to get better as they get healthier here down the stretch. Obviously, we're hoping the same thing is going to be for the Brewers here in this case as well before it's all said and done. But it has been kind of the tale of really 2 different teams here right now. I really believe that, when Betts came back yesterday, I said this on our show tonight too, Dom, it just looks to me that this team got a big boost. I mean, a big boost of energy, a big boost of confidence, a sigh of relief, however you want to say it. We all know he's that good. And they were scuffling a bit here recently, and they sure don't look like it right now. I mean, top to bottom, from struggling pitchers coming in like we saw tonight in Stone, looked like his old self there from earlier this season. Everything seems to be, the Dodgers here right now, and it just seems like they are on a big, big stage, and I think, we're looking up from seats far away at this point, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're going to run away with the 1 seed like everyone expected them to be at this point in the year. This text from Alex in Milwaukee just sums up the whole night. The Dodgers make me sad. I think this goes back to 2018, quite frankly, but the Brewers give up 4 homers tonight. They fall 7-2. Another text here, this one from the 262. I understand baseball is a streaky sport. I just can't comprehend how this team's come out so flat these 2 games against L.A. In my opinion, it's the biggest series of the year, and a chance to prove yourself against the big boys. This is how you perform. I think there's still a chance, though, Craig, here. You can find a way, and this is just like pie in the sky at this point because they've just been outclassed these first 2 games. If you can dig deep with a split with Montas and Myers going against Buehler and Flaherty, holy cow, what a momentum generator that could be, but me, the eternal optimist, sitting here like kind of smirking in my head, like, is that going to happen? Like, can they find a way to split this some way, shape, or form?
Well, I will say this, Dom, and we talked about it in our show tonight too, that you can't squander scoring opportunities when they're there. In the first 2 games of this, and look, they haven't had a lot. That's what I'm not saying, but when they're there, you can't squander them. And in each of the first 2 games, in the second inning, I really feel like they let a lot of opportunities go by. They let their philosophy, out the window. And if you can get early leads and get something going and put pressure on opposing pitchers and defense like they had opportunities for early in each of these first 2 games, who knows how this one is going to turn out, either one for that matter. But you have to play nearly perfect baseball. Are you going to win all 4 games of this series? Probably not. But you gotta do and play your game. And I really feel like the Brewers have not done that early in these ball games so far in this series when they've had the opportunity. You can't waste a guy with nobody out at second base. You can't waste second and third with 1 down. That's what they've done in each of the first 2 innings here. They've had opportunities to grab the early lead here in these games or stay in it for that matter, and they haven't done it. And then after that, you just gotta hope Colin Ray is Colin Ray of old, not what we saw here tonight, but it is murderer's row he's going up against, and even the guys like Will Smith, man, he's just slamming home run after home run. Gavin Lux is in his home state. He wants to hit home runs. Everything he's hit seems to be, either out of the ballpark or tough outs for him. So you could go on, man, but you got to take advantage of your opportunities and you got to play, your style of baseball. And I think the Brewers are capable of doing more here in the next 2 games.
To your point about the second and third, or even in the first inning when he had a 1-out double from Churio, the very next batter, William Contreras, and I know he hit a home run in a second AB, man on second, 1 out in the bottom of the first against the best team in the National League, and he is swinging first pitch and pulling it on the ground. I know Williams a great player. I know he hits the ball hard, but if you're first pitch swinging in that situation, it better get out of the infield. If he pulled a line drive to left field and it's caught, okay. But to pull a ground ball to third with a man on second and 1 out as the 3-hitter today, it's like, And then in the second inning, again, second and third, 1 out, and Frelick up, and he just pops out to short, and then Ortiz strikes out on a changeup. The Brewers are the third worst team in baseball. Third worst team in baseball, with a runner on second or a runner on third and less than 2 outs. Runner on third and less than 2 outs. They are the 3rd worst team in baseball in scoring that run.
That's
After all the talk
man.
we have, yeah, exactly. All the talk we talk about runners in scoring position, the fundamental, which is I know is what Pat Murphy drives him crazy, that they can't get it done in those situations. The lack of relentlessness, if you will, or that Tyler Black failed to even swing the bat, goes down looking in the 4th inning with a man on second, and 2 outs. It was a strike. I know we praise his strike zone discipline, but it's like when the Brewers are making fundamental mistakes and you're frustrated and it's just like, man, can they find a way to snap out of it? That's when you know they're in a funk, because they had been playing fundamental baseball, but lately these numbers suggest otherwise.
Yeah, and the second inning tonight too, you mentioned Frelick's at bat with 1 out and 2 on, second and third. That pop out to short. I mean, look, if you go back and look at the defense, the Dodgers were giving the Brewers a run there. All he had to do is lay a bunt down on his pull side.
Ground ball. They weren't even playing the infield
anything, exactly. Anything to that side, and he pops out Oppo. I don't know. Just stuff like that. We're just used to seeing them play either smarter baseball or more aggressive baseball, maybe all of the above and more. And, again, to me, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities matching up against an elite team like this, and you have to take advantage of what's given to you and get something on the board.
Yep, 855-616-1620. 855-616-1620 is the phone number. That's what you use to call us, text us. Hang out with us here tonight. Want to remind you that Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, a local Milwaukee team. Fifth Third Bank knows how to hit it out of the park. They've been serving businesses in the area for nearly 15 years, offering industry-specific expertise and local decision-making capabilities to help your business succeed. It's commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank National Association, member FDIC. Some more texts, some reaction to Colin Ray. That's all coming up next here on Brewers Extra Innings on 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a generator from Adams, Wisconsin's #1 rated Generac dealer. Adams provides sales, installation, maintenance, and 24/7 service from all locations. Learn why Adams is your best choice in providing power peace of mind. Visit adamspower.com today.
An epic Brewers homestand kicks off August 9th, featuring a division duel against the Reds. First place battles with the Dodgers and Guardians, plus 3 giveaway games. Find the game for you at brewers.com/tickets.
At Erickson's Landscape Supply, we have durable, maintenance-free polywood patio furniture and #1 grade treated natural pine Amish-made patio furniture. And we also have a wonderful assortment of concrete benches, statues, and fountains available in a selection you just gotta see to believe. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less, plus a whole lot more. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection or stop on in today. He told us to load 4 yards into his 8-foot bed, but we knew that 3 full, honestly measured yards were going to fill his truck bed to the rim. After we proved that, he told us the other guys have been telling him he's been getting 4 yards in there for years. Honest measurements and honest folks who just want to do you right. So you come back. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Welcome back, Dom Catronio, Craig Kashan with you here on WTMJ. Brewers fall today 7-2 to the Dodgers. Game 3 of this 4-game set tomorrow night. Same time, same place, 7:10 here on WTMJ. Brian from Tosa texting in, watching the game from Kansas City. Not going to mince words, the Brewers can't beat the Dodgers. So if the Phillies right the ship, the Brewers will be forced to play in the wild card round again. And at the moment would face Atlanta if the season ended today. That means Sale and Fried or Lopez, while the Brewers count on Peralta, Ray, and maybe Myers. Don't like our odds. And the Brewers, I think, kind of continuing on here from Brian's take here, Craig, I think a lot of Brewers fans are just sick of the wild card round. That's why there's so much emphasis on this 2 seed. And they can win a series in a wild card round, but it just feels like, man, they haven't won a playoff series since 2018. They're sick of getting there. They want to do something to win it there. And when you're facing a quality team like the Dodgers, it feels like doom and gloom. You're never as bad as you think you are. But I can relate to Brian here where it's like, I'm sick of the wild card round. And Brewers fans see the the image, in front of their eyes here, facing a team like the Dodgers or the Braves in a 3-game set.
Yeah, and I'm not sure any of us would have thought at this point in the season the Brewers would have seriously been challenging for one of those top 2 seeds, and certainly they're not done yet. There's still a lot of baseball yet to go. But I'm with you. I understand the frustration. I think the biggest thing that I worry about is right now this team offensively is either scoring runs in a few ball games or not scoring any runs in a few ball games, and it's just that roller coaster up and down. And the problem I have with wild card series, it's a shorter series, and so if you're not scoring runs, like we have seen how many years in the playoffs in a row for this team, that is a huge Achilles heel. And I really thought and still think the offense is much better than it has been in recent years. It's just right now, they're without Yelich and maybe some more consistency from some of the young guys. They're kind of in a tough spot right now in a short series. To me, pitching is one thing, but you still need to score runs to win, and you can't expect these pitchers to win 1-0 and 2-1 games like we have seen at times this year. I mean, in a short series, that to me makes it more difficult when you're not scoring runs.
I agree entirely. This one from Tom in Pewaukee. I know they have the division locked down. I know the team rotation especially has upside for next season, but man, I am tired of losing to daddy's money teams. Looking forward to Tobias Myers getting tested in Game 4, but man, this is getting depressing. Let's talk about Colin Ray, though, here as we try to dissect what went wrong today and then the small, maybe small pin on his jersey here of just saying, like, thanks for getting 6 innings out of this, despite the 5-run fourth. But 4 homers today from Colin Ray. And I think, look, Shohei, you hang a splitter to anybody, but especially Shohei, that one's not coming back. Gavin Lux, he's white hot right now. But the fact that Lux and Pages are not just hitting homers, but they're hitting ambush homers. Guys that are up there ready to swing first pitch and hitting home runs. That's not something we've seen from Colin Ray, suggesting a failure of execution, hanging something, and them not missing it.
Well, and the, I guess, inconsistency or consistency, however you want to define it, it was that way for Colin Ray. And that shows that the Dodgers were ready for him. They were well prepared for this game. You look, and they're good. We know that. We've talked about it, but very uncharacteristic stuff as far as results go that we saw for Colin Ray here in this one. And it was all hard hit balls, 4 home runs. I did not see that coming from Colin Ray. I really had a lot of confidence with him out there today. He's been on a roll, obviously. He's turned his whole career around. You're not going to win them all, I get it, but you don't want a result like this, what we saw tonight. I mean, for him to give up 7 runs, 4 home runs, I would not expect that next time out. He's been that good this year to make adjustments. But I will say this, the Dodgers look like a team that knew it was coming and was ready for it and knew when it was coming on the count as well. And, it was just a tough night for him, no doubt about it.
I think the wild thing from tonight, too, the real backbreaker is not just Pages and Lux going yard, but with 2 outs and nobody on in the second inning, to suddenly, from an 0-2 count on Will Smith, to be in a dogfight and have it go 9 pitches long for him to hit a home run down the left field line. Will Smith hadn't hit a home run since the last time he saw the Brewers. It had been 22 games, 96 plate appearances since his last home run. And now he hits his 5th homer in his last 4 games against the Brewers. It's just like, is he the new Chris Taylor? Like, what the heck? How is he just seeing red as soon as he sees the Brewers? And like, that's the pitch, I think, that sent, oh no, like they're on it. And the fact that he couldn't put him away, right? And the fact that from 0-2 to 3-2 and 9 pitches and foul balls and foul balls and foul balls told you, oh boy, this may be an omen for what was to come, and it was in the 4th inning.
Well, one batter can change a game, and I think, you just brought up all the correct examples that Will Smith was able to do. He's clearly seeing the ball well against any Brewer pitcher here so far this season, and then you can change the game kind of on a dime that way. I mean, it's still early, and if you battle and you see opportunities and you can hit the long ball like that, credit to him, and then you pass that message on. I think we saw a few messages passed on which pitch did you hit for a home run, or whatever it was to pass the baton. So it certainly worked out for them. Didn't seem like a Colin Ray day at all here today. That fourth inning was a head scratcher just to come out of the gates like that and give up 4 straight hits, including the home run to Lux, and then he struggled the rest of the way, obviously. But to get 6 innings too, like you said, Dom, that's pretty amazing stuff there. I mean, that people aren't going to understand altogether what that means for a starting pitcher who's every single time that it's his turn, he has pitched in a game this season, to go back out there and say, I'm still going to get you 6, forget about all those runs, and still keep you in the game after that fourth inning to whatever degree, says a lot about that guy, that's for sure.
They gave him extra rest on this one, too. They had a full week off between because they wanted to set him up against the Dodgers. They didn't want him to pitch against the Reds. They wanted to save him for this series. I wonder if being a little off in his routine, I know he had 8 days off, but that was also partly because of the All-Star break earlier in July. But it's just like you start to wonder, like, man, is he a guy that thrives on habit? I don't think it should impact somebody that much. But the fact that we weren't seeing the same sort of bite, same sort of finish that we were used to from him. He still ended up with 4 strikeouts, but just so much loud contact. But at the same time, I don't want to discredit as if the Dodgers were, they should have been shut down by a guy like Colin Ray. The Dodgers are really bleeping good. I mean, top 4 scares me to no end. Even the top 6 when you get down to Lux and Smith and how they've been this season. It's just that I think we've been so used to what Colin Ray's been doing. And again, this is only the second clunker he's really had in the last 2 months or so. And if anyone's earned a little bit of leeway, it's Colin Ray, because the Brewers are simply not in this position without Code Red.
Correct. And I look at his line, too. I know he didn't walk anybody. I don't know if that's a real consolation prize in a game like this. But to me, though, I mean, he's a pitch-to-contact guy. Yes, he is going to get a number of strikeouts in a game, and that flexes from game to game, from team to team as well. But they came swinging the bats today, and their bats, 4 of them left the ballpark, and really that's just the bottom line. And again, I would not expect that out of Colin Ray next time out, no matter who he's facing.
When you look at the Brewers, a small silver lining too is the fact that they were able to get some guys in. Peguero, Ross, and Mears all had scoreless innings despite allowing a hit today. Small little silver lining there, but otherwise the offense is really the big part of the story today for the Crew. They fall 7-2 to the Dodgers. We'll have one more segment with Craig Gashawn. I'm Dom Cotroneo, 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620. Brewers fall in the first 2 games to the Dodgers. What will the next 2 entail? It's got to be a lot more offense. That's next on WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings.
Drive into summer with a beautiful new car from the International Autos Group. Get spectacular savings of up to $20,000, and 0.9% financing is available for 60 months. Every model in our 2,000 car inventory is priced to sell. The International Autos Group, Milwaukee, Waukesha, Sheboygan, and Brown Deer. Or at IAAutogroup.com, where our ordinary needs to be extraordinary. Financing with approved credit, $1,709 per month per $1,000 financed on select models.
Gorgeous new roofs, showstopper siding, or classic brick and stonework. How about modern windows and regal doors that'll make your chin hit the floor? To a lot of people, having these things can really make them enjoy where they live. It makes them proud. But there's always one thing standing in the way. How do I make that happen? At Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, we have excellent financing options for most people in most situations. 12 months, no interest, no payments, and exceptional rates for long-term loans that will beat your bank with no additional fees or hidden costs. You can go to SemperFiRoofing.com to apply for your pre-approval today. We want to make any project affordable to almost any person, and we've gone out of our way to find partners that can help make it happen for you. This is Brad Younglith with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Catronio. Craig Gashon's here too. 855-616-1620. 855-616-1620. This one from Josh in Milwaukee. Well, with a little offensive production and an unusual outing from Ray, this game felt over very quickly. On the bright side, we can still split the series, and at least I'm not a White Sox fan. Like that one there from Josh. Craig, we talked a little bit about the opportunistic, or the lack thereof, opportunities, or execution, I should say, with the opportunities in the first two innings. The bright spot was a 10-pitch battle for William Contreras hitting a solo home run, but I thought that the stamp was really put on this game in the bottom of the fourth inning after the Dodgers jumped out to the 7-1 lead with the 5-run top half of the inning. That Gavin Stone came out, struck out Willie Adames looking, struck out Garrett Mitchell swinging, struck out Rhys Hoskins swinging, all on fastballs. This team normally is able to attack on fastballs, and Gavin Stone has a very good fastball. But when you see that, I mean, Willie had a tough night tonight. He went 1 for 4, and even the one single was a soft single. When this team, struggling as much as they have with fastballs, as I'm looking at it now, of all the strikeouts they had tonight, they had 7 strikeouts as a team tonight. 5 of them were on fastballs. I mean, that's sort of a red flag of like, ooh, that's not supposed to happen for a team like the Brewers.
Kind of a little epidemic going on as far as the swing and miss and the fastball for Milwaukee here right now. Dom, you're right about that. It's tough. I mean, sometimes this just goes from batter to batter, and I think they're in that rut right now. But I'm just scratching my head. 8 runs in the last 4 games. In the previous 4 games, when they were hot, they scored 42. I mean, that's a big difference. I'm not sure I would expect them to score 42 runs over a 4-game span again, but they showed they're capable of doing something, and they have to find some kind of a happy medium in between. So they haven't lost more than 3 in a row. So something, if they get back to a game plan of some type tomorrow, collectively, offensively, hopefully we'll see something better than that. But it just was a tough night. It's hard to look at this, outside Contreras, and I don't know. They're the mojo, the juice right now. It's pretty flat.
To me, I think the biggest thing that jumps out is, and I haven't said this yet, but now I'm ready to commit to it. This team really misses Christian Yelich right now, and the effective Christian Yelich. Because like you said earlier, when Mookie Betts arrived in the other clubhouse, it gave them a lift and they went going nuts. And now the Dodgers have won, 8 of their last 10. Whereas the Brewers, they have to win tomorrow to avoid their first 4-game losing streak of the season. But they're going to have to do so probably with Tyler Black in there. They're going to have to do so with Garrett Mitchell and Sal Frelick in there. You look at the Brewers' outfield. I mean, the Jackson Churio is 3rd on this team in home runs. The 20-year-old is 3rd on the team in homers. Now, I know Contreras just recently actually passed him, so he's 4th on the team. But you need power, and Mitchell's missed most of the year, I get that. Frelick's not a power hitter. Perkins is not a power hitter. Most other teams get power from their outfielders. Look at the Dodgers with Teoscar Hernandez and Mookie Betts. And then their DH, Shohei Ohtani. Now, he's a freak, right? But at the same time, the Brewers are relying on Tyler Black right now while Blake Perkins is down to be another left-handed bat and to try to find some left-handed power, which, quite frankly, the Brewers just do not have power, period, consistent power, where I know Rhys has got 20 homers, I know Adames has got 21, but you and I both know it hasn't been that steady here's a power threat, here's a guy, and they're going to be hitting homers. That's just not been their case this year, and it just feels double demoralizing because you watch a team just hit 4 homers and just end the game that quickly, and all you do is hit a solo homer.
Yeah. Man, it's rough. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not in love with the lineup right now either. I mean, I think in order to get some of the things that you're talking about, I think we need to see, a guy like Reese a little further up. I think we need to see when Sanchez is in there, back to a little further up. I'm still not opposed. We've talked about the last few days about, bumping Bryce Terang out of that top spot. He is offensively just in a big-time rut here right now. A season worst. Let's just say it. Maybe give Ortiz a chance or Churio a chance. And like tonight, Dom, I just didn't understand Tyler Black cleaning up. I just didn't understand it.
I don't understand it either.
Proven himself yet, so I don't know. It's just stuff like that. I just think a change should be coming tomorrow. We'll see.
And that, at the same time, though, I counter that, and a texter here says the same, Jeff from Elkhorn. It's like, well, without Perkins and without Yelich, Murphy doesn't have much of a choice to have to play both Sal Frelick and Garrett Mitchell in there. You would think that normally he's been shuffling off, and Sal had a tough night tonight. He's gotten cold from his hot stretch in June and July, and the Brewers are finding themselves. This is that youth movement where it's like, when the ruts are ruts, man, they are in ruts. They get cold fast, and that kind of explains this ebb and flow that we've seen right now. And it's not like this is anything new. It's August. This is the team they knew they were going to have. I think at this point, you and I both know this, the Brewers have outperformed every expectation, and that's A-OK, and that's fine. But just because you've outperformed expectations doesn't mean you need to fall back to those expectations. The Brewers are in a rut. It's not the end of the world, but can you find some offense here against Walker Buehler, who has not quite been the same over the last few years with all of these injuries? Can you find a way against him and then generate some momentum into Thursday against Jack Flaherty, who the Brewers obviously wanted at the trade deadline, didn't ultimately get? The Brewers have an opportunity ahead of themselves, and it all starts with the offense, because regardless of what Frankie Montas and Colin Ray or Tobias Myers do over the next 2 days, you got to score more runs than the other team, and it could be a 10-9 game for all I care. The offense needs to show up the next 2 days.
Well, they do, and this pitching staff right now, the way it's put together, they need that support. They're not. I mean, look, when they won 1-0 on Saturday, you could almost see what was coming, because it's kind of been that way almost predictably this season. Now, is that a negative? Not necessarily. They've been in most games they played. We know that. The scores have been tight. So they have chances. They're never going to be out. But they just need to figure out a way to score more here. They need to they really just got to hope at this point that some of these younger guys who are being put in a role they've never been in before at this level to figure it out. If it's one or two of these guys to be able to figure it out. I think Churio's figured it out. Right now he's hitting into some incredibly long, hard hit outs or liners right at position player outs. So he's figured it out, and his ball in play is gonna fall in play here again, hopefully as soon as tomorrow. But I don't know. You go back to the Yelich thing. I've been saying this for a little stretch here that this is why the lineup's a little different. This is why some of the veteran guys are being spread around in that lineup a little bit amongst these young kids. We get it. You can't give up on this team, that's for sure. And you hope nobody's feeling any pressure at this point either. They've got a nice, comfortable lead, so they can handle these setbacks. Hopefully you learn a little bit from them and move on as soon as tomorrow.
I agree. I think you have an opportunity tomorrow, but we saw this sort of stretch last season when the Brewers got swept by the Dodgers in L.A., and then it led to maybe their hottest stretch of the year for the rest of August and into September to take control of the division. They have that opportunity to try to get back on track either tomorrow against the Guardians or next week against the Cardinals. Craig, thank you as always for your time, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
All right, sounds good, Dom.
All right, Craig Sean here on WTMJ. A few more texts coming up in the next segment. Brewers fall 7-2 on 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
I was stuffed up. It was almost like someone put a clothespin over my nose. As an athlete, it did affect my performance. And as I got older, the congestion and poor sleep really took their toll.
Mike's a lifetime athlete. After hearing about Advent, he felt he could finally find a solution to his breathing triangle problems.
With my congestion, the kind of sleep I was getting wasn't allowing me to function the way I wanted to.
When your nose isn't working like it should be, it's going to negatively affect your sleep. And then you really can't be at your best at anything that you're doing.
It's been about 5 years since coming to Advent, and what balloon sinuplasty did for my quality of life, that step I took was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Balloon sinuplasty can help solve your breathing triangle problems, which will help you sleep better. And that's going to help you live a better quality of life.
Unlock your potential. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers, where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Catronio. Brandon and Elkhorn texting in. It's hard to believe that 1 week ago, in the midst of 52 hits and a 3-game sweep in Atlanta, followed by 7 more hits in the first 3 innings against the Reds, and now ice cold at the plate. Now 1-7 against the top 2 teams in the NL, and instances like this make the lackluster trade deadline made it that much more frustrating. When we talk about the trade deadline, I talked about this at the time as well, and I'll repeat it here too. I really do believe, and this has not been confirmed by the Brewers, but it just really feels like the uncertainty around Yelich meant that why push your chips all in without Christian Yelich? When you've got pieces and the roster was really full, and they ended up trading Junis to create room, and they traded Bradley Blaylock, who made his Rockies debut yesterday, in order to get Nick Mears, and they did a little bit of maneuvering, but I feel like with this farm system that they have, they were in a position this offseason or into next trade deadline to really make a move to support this team, because if you think the team's young right now, it's going to be even younger next season. When you look at, let's say, the scenarios that are at play here, let's say the Brewers do not re-sign Willy Adames. Let's say Rhys Hoskins chooses to opt out of his player option and become a free agent once again. And then you suddenly look at it, you'll move Joey Ortiz to short. Maybe you'll have Tyler Black, or if Brock Wilken has a hot rest of the year and hot spring training, maybe Brock Wilkins there, last year's first-round pick. Then you've got Terang still at second. You've got Tyler Black maybe at first. You've got William Contreras still behind the plate, suddenly as the veteran with Christian Yelich, but you've still got Churio, and you've still got Mitchell, and you've still got Frelick, and you've still got Perkins. So much youth on this team still, with guys like, Jefferson Caro on the way, with guys like Jacob Mizorowski on the way. So they're going to be young for a little while here, and they hope that this folds into a long window of contention for the Brewers, that while this trade deadline was lackluster, maybe they parlay it into next year when they have Woodruff back, when they have Mizorowski in the big leagues, and heck, Mizorowski might be in the big leagues by the end of the year, that the Brewers feel that they can really make a move, a splash. But 17 different starters. I know I'm sort of preaching to the choir here. Brewers fans know this, and they're sick of hearing it, but the truth is, the Brewers being in, it's very much like, how are you still alive right now? Like, everything you've been through, how are you the only team above 500 in the Central? It's impressive, but it's also equally frustrating, like you said there, Brandon, to be 1-7 against the Dodgers and the Phillies when Brewers fans know they should be better than this. But at the same time, how come they can handle the teams like the Tigers and they can handle teams like the Cubs and teams like the Cardinals, but when they face the Daddy's Money's teams, that text made me chuckle. It just feels a little bit more frustrating there, too. This one from Tom in South Dakota: had a little chicken for dinner tonight, though I hate to say it, it feels appropriate to think that maybe the sky is indeed falling. I disagree with that, though, Tom. At the very least, the series has kind of been the not this year type vibe. I don't want to go that far yet. There's still an opportunity to split. Now, even if they get swept for a mop, if you will, losing a 4-game series in a sweep fashion, that's when it's the not this year vibe. But at the same time, it's like uphill climb these next 2 days with Buehler and Flaherty on the mound. Quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard a little bit later. There weren't really any highlights from this game, but a little bit later we'll also hear, hopefully, from Pat Murphy as well, as he spoke to the media earlier tonight, too. Brewers fall by a 7-2 final to the Dodgers here on 620 WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a generator from Adams, Wisconsin's #1 rated Generac dealer. Adams provides sales, installation, maintenance, and 24/7 service from all locations. Learn why Adams is your best choice in providing power peace of mind. Visit adamspower.com today.
Change the way you do business and take more control of the payment process with Fifth Third Bank's Treasury Management Solutions. Their market expertise and managed services streamline the entire payment process and integrate with your existing systems, giving you more control than ever. With their suite of payment solutions, you will soon recognize new revenue sources that can save time, offset operating costs, and improve the bottom line, all customized for your business. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Brake issues, electrical issues, four-wheel drive issues, exhaust issues, and even my car just won't start issues.
You name it, we fixed it.
So the next time you're due for service, drive it on into Richlands and let our ASE certified technicians get you fixed up and safely back on the road.
Nothing warms my heart more than seeing our customers drive out of here with big old smiles on their faces. And all the credit goes to our staff, the most friendly, honest, hard-working, knowledgeable people in the business.
5 conveniently located facilities, all AAA approved,
and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to provide you with top-notch service.
And after your vehicle's been serviced, drop us a Google review and let us know how we did.
Because a Google review from you goes a long way. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
So a quick peek around the league. We mentioned it earlier. The Brewers didn't lose any ground today. They're still 7.5 up on the Cardinals, who lost to Hunter Green and the Reds tonight, 4-1. By the way, have you seen Hunter Green's season? He's now 9-4 with a 2.83 ERA and 140 innings, 162 strikeouts. He's got the home runs relatively under control. So Brewers will probably see him during that 4 games in 3 days set in 3 weeks' time as they finish up the season series in Cincinnati out there. Other games that matter to the Brewers, the next opponent, the Guardians, they just won their series against the Cubs 2-1. They win today. They're now at 71-49 on the season. The Cubs remain 3 games under 500, and the Padres are still up on the Pirates 2-0, trying to make that another series loss for Pittsburgh. Or, sorry, that's the opener of a series. But Pittsburgh has lost 8 in a row coming into that one. Braves and Giants just got tied up. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning on a wild pitch tied the game. So it's 3-3. They could be bound for extra innings again as they are in the top of the 9th inning right now. And then another team that's in the wild card race, the Mets, they got beat up at home by the Oakland A's. Now, in case you haven't noticed, the Brewers go to Oakland next weekend. And I know what you're thinking, Dom, it's the A's. Why are you bringing up the Oakland A's? They've been one of the best hitting teams since the start of July, and that is not going to be a pushover series. They have struggled with their pitching, and I'm not denying that, but very quietly, when you toggle this to just going back since the start of July, the A's have had one of the best offenses in baseball. So since July 1st, the A's have a .257 batting average, which is actually better than the Brewers, and they've been hitting the long ball. The A's have hit 56 homers in these 34 games. Just for comparison's sake, the Brewers in their last 35 games have hit 42 homers, or 20 fewer than the A's. So something to keep in mind, nearly 20 fewer for next weekend. So that is not going to be a pushover series in Oakland. So as it stands right now with the standings, if the playoffs started tomorrow, once again, like we said, it would be the Braves that is the opponent for the Brewers, as they are now a game and a half clear, and they could be 2 games clear of the Mets by night's end if the Braves are able to beat the Giants. And then furthermore, the 1 and 2 seeds of that wild card, Arizona and San Diego, they're jockeying for position right now. They're up 4 games on Atlanta. Whoever has the 1 seed wild card gets the host, the 2 seed wild card in a wild card, and that would be an epic series to say the least for both of those teams. And quite frankly, Major League Baseball has a chaos scenario on their hands where there's a wild card team that has a better record than a team that won the division. As now, Arizona, they're trailing to the Rockies right now. They have their last licks right now in the bottom of the 9th, but Arizona and San Diego, by the end of the night, if they beat the Pirates, they will have a better record than the Brewers, but the Brewers are winning the Central. And there is a chaos scenario where both Arizona and San Diego, let's say, finish with a better record than the Brewers, but one of them has to play on the road in the playoffs. It's the importance of winning your division. That's why every single game really does matter. I know sometimes we say it doesn't. Every game really does matter. There was one highlight from this one. It was a William Contreras home run once again. We'll talk about that coming up next here on 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Well, if you need flagstone for your new natural patio, Erickson's is the place to find it. We have the largest selection and 15 styles to choose from. And for decorative stone, Erickson's is your best choice. Our decorative stone is trucked in from all over the country. We buy straight from the quarry and cut out the middleman to keep your prices nice and low. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. So he said to me, "Boy, oh boy, do you got the boulders." And I said, "You betcha." And he said, "Do you mind if I cherry pick?" And I said, "Feel free. They're all beautiful and they're all granite. Sparkling pinks, blues, and grays from 4 to 36 inches. And they're all priced right because we buy direct from the source nationwide to give you the look you want. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
An epic Brewers homestand kicks off August 9th, featuring a division duel against the Reds. First place battles with the Dodgers and Guardians, plus 3 giveaway games. Find the game for you at brewers.com/tickets.
For your next exterior remodeling project, we know you're not asking a lot from us. You want the right products for your situation, you want a few different financing options that can make your project affordable, and you want us to do a good job with minimal disruption to your life. And this one's important. You want a warranty that matters. And we know that checking every box makes all the difference. You might be surprised at how many moving parts go into it, but we have just the right people in all the right places to pull that off every day and make it look easy. The company we have took us 21 years to build. It's an awesome place to work because we never stop improving it. And we think we can do this work so well that we can actually change the reputation of exterior remodelers long term. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
3-2 again. Hit high in the air to the left. This is deep. Hernandez back, track, wall, watching. Goodbye, home run. Another one for William Contreras. He's driven in all the Brewers runs in the series, and it's a 2-1 ball game in the third. Contreras hits his 15th of the season.
Josh Mauer's call here on WTMJ. So number 15, he is third on the team in home runs. He is approaching last year's total when he hit 19 for the Crew. Oh, by the way, he's top 5 in doubles as well. He's got a chance to put together like a 40-double, 20 homer season. I beg your pardon. He hit 17 home runs last season. He hit 20, which is his career high, back in 2022 with the Braves, even when he was a primary designated hitter that season for the Bravos. But William continues to swing the bat better, and if this is his floor, or if this is his like base solid season, hitting 280 as a catcher with a 450 plus slugging with an OPS over 800, dang, that is a valuable player if he can continue on this stretch that he's on right now. And I talked about the mistake that he made with a man on second and one out to not be able to do it. He knows the mistake too, and even yet, he's 26 years young. He's not even at arbitration until next season, and he should be a Brewer for the next couple of seasons for the Brew Crew. So good to see him continue the good stretch right now for the Venezuelan. The Brewers on a pitching front today, they have the leverage bullpen rested. Devin Williams is available tomorrow. Yoel Payamps. I would imagine you can go back-to-back with Elvis Peguero and Nick Mears. You've got Jared Koenig available. He got hot tonight, but then ultimately sat down once the Dodgers blew it open. But then you've got, I imagine, Brian Hudson available tomorrow and that sort of thing. So the Brewers are in a decent spot with their bullpen heading into tomorrow. And I wonder, with a couple of righties coming up here these next 2 days, I wonder if Gary's just going to go ahead and get the start against a right-handed pitcher, because like Craig and I talked about, Tyler Black's going to be a solid player in the bigs. I don't see him as a clean-up hitting DH. You know what? There's a reason why you have Gary Sanchez on this roster, and it's to hit. Let's let the dude hit kind of thing. I anticipate something like that could happen tomorrow for the Crew. Up next, one last look at the scoreboard and get you prepared for tomorrow and Thursday and our upcoming broadcast schedule here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings. The Upswing with Jeff Sherman.
Everyone is trying to sell as much as they can, but you want people to stay for a long time and spend money.
Get to know what's going on in the community and businesses throughout Milwaukee and Wisconsin.
Yeah, I've been asking people, do you have a budget when you come to the state fair? And everyone pauses and said, huh? No, we just come and we eat as much as we can.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Don't let spring allergies make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution trusted by over 4 million people. Navage. Only Navage uses suction to flush out your sinuses using refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at your local Sam's Club in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Sam's Club today. Navage. Navage. Breathe easy.
As fall approaches, you have a lot to prepare for. Back to school, sporting events, family gatherings, and staying on top of your health. The virus that causes COVID-19 continues to evolve. So this fall, no matter what you're prepping for, you can prioritize your family's health and make a game plan for COVID-19 vaccination. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I was stuffed up. It was almost like someone put a clothespin over my nose. As an athlete, it did affect my performance. And as I got older, the congestion and poor sleep really took their toll.
Mike's a lifetime athlete. After hearing about Advent, he felt he could finally find a solution to his breathing triangle problems.
With my congestion, the kind of sleep I was getting wasn't allowing me to function the way I wanted to.
When your nose isn't working like it should be, it's going to negatively affect your sleep. And then you really can't be at your best at anything that you're doing.
It's been about 5 years since coming to Advent, and what balloon sinuplasty did for my quality of life, that step I took was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Balloon sinuplasty can help solve your breathing triangle problems, which will help you sleep better. And that's going to help you live a better quality of life.
Unlock your potential. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
BEI for this month only, and all season long really, is brought to you by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. For this month here in August, Cider is waiving their $99 trip fee for HVAC service calls. Visit cider.com to schedule an appointment before it's too late. Again, $99 off their trip fee for HVAC service calls. SEIDER.com, SEIDER.com with our friends at Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Same time, same place. Once again, it's a 4-game set, a 7-10 first pitch. We're on the air at 6 with Brewers warm-up. On Deck Show will take over at 6:35, and then I've got you after the game as well for Brewers Extra Innings. Then on Thursday, day game, so no Brewers warm-up, but we do have the On Deck Show starting at 12:35 for a 1:10 first pitch. Then Thursday night, I've got you covered for Brewers Weekly, reacting to everything that went down on Thursday's game, so that'll be our de facto post-game then. And then Friday, the Guardians are here, back to a 7:10 start, back to 6 o'clock Brewers warm-up, and we've got a Brewers Extra Innings after that game. Saturday is a 6:15 first pitch because it is on National Fox, and if you're one of the folks that likes to sync up your television, it's on Fox on Saturday. And then we will be on the air at 5 o'clock that day with Brewers warm-up as well to get you ready for that one. And then the On Deck Show would take over at 6:45 to prepare for the game. And then Sunday back to 1:10. And then finally another off day on Monday. So the Brewers right in the middle of their 13 games in a row right now. They went 3-0 against Atlanta, 2-1 against Cincinnati. So that puts them at 5-1 coming into this series. They're now 5-3. With 5 games to go in this 13 in a row. Off day Monday, then it's a trip to St. Louis, followed by a trip to Oakland, and then another off day right back home for the Gigantes for the Giants. Quick peek over there in the Bay. They're in extras. Second straight night, the Braves and the Giants are tied up with an extra frame, and the Padres 1 out away from sealing another victory. And would you look at that? The Diamondbacks just walked off the Rockies, and it was the hottest hitter in baseball, Jake McCarthy, who turned around to Victor Vodnik 100-mile-an-hour fastball for a base hit. As Jake McCarthy, he's now up to 300 on the season, 309 on the season, as he has really been putting it together as of late. And here in the second half, McCarthy, he's hitting nearly 400. He's been insane. So the Diamondbacks win again because no surprise, and the Padres just won again, so no surprise. And that means officially both of those teams have a better record than the Brewers, even though Milwaukee is leading the division. Baseball, man, it just exists to mess with you. That's going to do it for our show tonight. Thanks for all the honesty on the text line. Appreciate everyone who participates and listens to these shows and interacts on social media as well. My thanks to our producer, Max Meyerson, and for our guest, Craig Kashan. I'm Dominic Catronio. Brewers fall, but right back after it tomorrow. I guarantee you the sun will come up tomorrow. Until then, keep on swinging.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in Southeast